Damien Stone, 35, was the founder of Stone Global Capital, one of the most private yet influential investment firms in the world. His personal net worth was estimated at $15 billion. However, Damien despised all forms of outward snobbery. His wardrobe consisted of high-quality, yet completely inconspicuous items, the same old jeans and unbranded cashmere sweater he had worn since founding his firm. Willow Creek Academy, his alma mater, invited him to give a lecture for its 150th anniversary. He agreed, not for the fame, but out of respect for the education he received there. But the spirit of exclusivity still lingered in the academy's air. Here, status was valued above achievement. Students wore designer clothes, and teachers took pride in their elite affiliation. Damien parked his modest but clean black sedan in a far corner of the lot, avoiding the row of shiny Ferraris and Rolls-Royces belonging to parents. He ascended to Langley Hall, ready to speak about how true success is measured by grit, not labels. His lecture was meant to be an ode to humility and determination. Damien entered the Economics 101 classroom, where he was greeted by Mr. Harris. Harris, a teacher with 25 years of tenure, was a pillar of the old guard. He wore a perfectly tailored tweed jacket, and his manners were steeped in arrogance. From the very first minute, Harris demonstrated skepticism, arms crossed over his chest. Damien spoke about starting from nothing, investing with only his savings, and emphasized that his appearance had never been a barrier to true partners. He stressed that the most important factors were trust and results. At that moment, Harris couldn't help but interrupt him. "Mr. Stone," he began, lowering his voice to a theatrical whisper, "with respect to your romantic story, you are misleading these children." Mr. Harris stood up to ensure all 30 students could hear his words. "You speak of billions, yet you look like a bus driver who lost his way. If you came to Wall Street in this threadbare polyester, they wouldn't even let you park. Do not mislead these children. Your intentions may be good, but your appearance screams, low income. Here at Willow Creek, we teach that status matters." A heavy silence fell over the classroom. A few students snickered. Damien's cheeks were flushed, but his eyes remained calm and icy. He slowly turned to Harris. "My clothing is my choice, Mr. Harris. And that choice allows me to focus on substance. Your need to judge others by their appearance is your problem. And it is, regrettably, the worst lesson you could give to future leaders." Damien finished the lecture, but his words were no longer about entrepreneurship. They were about dignity. As soon as the bell rang, Damien left, walking past Harris, who made no effort to hide his triumph. Damien left the academy, but his destination was not home. He headed straight to his head office. There was no anger in his mind, only cold calculation. He had made a decision. While Damien drove, his personal assistant, Sarah, called him. "Sir, the anonymous transfer of $50 million for Willow Creek Academy is ready to be sent. Are you ready to sign?" Damien replied, "No, Sarah. The transfer is cancelled. We are changing the plan." Willow Creek Academy had been on the brink of collapse for several years due to a financial crisis. Multi-million-dollar debts from a new building project and a depleted endowment fund had pushed them to the edge of bankruptcy. They were desperately seeking one single investor to make an anonymous donation. Damien was supposed to be their savior. But after the encounter with Harris, he realized that it was not the building that needed saving, but the culture. "Sarah," he instructed, "find all open debt obligations, all available equity, and every possible leverage point. I'm not donating money. I'm buying the academy. Today. Secure a meeting with the board of trustees within the hour." Frantic work began at Stone Global Capital. Sarah and her team worked at a phenomenal speed. The legal department rushed to prepare documents for a hostile takeover of debt obligations. The academy president, Dr. Hill, was astonished by Sarah's call. "A takeover? You can't. We have no open shares." But Sarah was insistent, "Mr. Stone is not buying shares. He is buying your debts and liabilities. Your creditors are more than willing to sell them to us at a significant discount before the Academy declares insolvency. Dr. Hill reluctantly agreed to an emergency meeting of the Board of Trustees at 5 p.m. Meanwhile, Damien sat in his office, reviewing Mr. Harris's biography. Harris was living on credit, wore expensive watches, and was known for aggressive investment mistakes that no one knew about. Damien was not looking for personal revenge. He was looking for strategic leverage. If you judge a man by his cheap sweater, then you must be prepared for that man to judge your organization by its financial statements, Damien muttered, pressing the call button for Sarah. At 5 p.m., Damien, wearing the same jeans and cashmere sweater, walked into Willow Creek's luxurious boardroom. 10 people, the city's elite, sat at the long table. They were tense. Dr. Hill looked exhausted. Mr. Stone, you requested an urgent meeting, but we were informed that you cancelled the donation. Damien cut him off. I didn't cancel it. I changed the form of the transaction. I have acquired all your open liabilities. From this moment on, Willow Creek Academy belongs to Stone Global Capital. Board members began to shout, impossible. That's illegal. Damien calmly showed them the printouts. It's not only possible, but it's finalized. The last bank signed the agreement 10 minutes ago. You have two choices, accept my terms and receive full debt repayment, or declare bankruptcy right now. The tension reached its peak. The board agreed to accept the terms. I have only two conditions, Damien announced. At that moment, the boardroom door burst open. Mr. Harris, who had heard rumors of the financial collapse and the meeting, walked in to offer his expert advice. He saw Damien. Stone. What are you doing here? Are you pulling your cheap circus act here? He turned to the board members, don't listen to him. He's dressed like a clerk. He can't be involved with sums like these. President Hill jumped up, Mr. Harris, silence immediately. Mr. Stone is our new owner. Harris froze. His face turned ash-gray. He looked at his expensive tie, then at Damien's cheap sweater. A chilling silence ensued. Damien slowly stood up. Damien walked up to Harris, and their eyes met. Mr. Harris, you were right, Damien said, his voice quiet and devoid of emotion. My clothing screams low income. But my company has just closed a deal that made you my employee. And unlike you, I value respect. He turned to the board. My first condition is this, Mr. Harris must be immediately terminated. For violating the very core principle he was supposed to teach, respect. His arrogance and the public humiliation of an academy guest are unacceptable. At Stone Academy, we do not judge people by labels. Harris tried to argue that it was unfair. But he had no power. The board unanimously voted for his termination, eager to appease the new owner. Following Harris's dismissal, Damien presented his second condition, Willow Creek Academy must be renamed the Stone Academy. Furthermore, the entire curriculum had to be revised with an emphasis on ethics, accessibility, and equal opportunity, rather than elitism. He established an endowment fund 10 times the size of the original planned donation to ensure every student, regardless of background, could attend tuition-free. News of the purchase and the radical changes instantly swept through Wall Street and all social media platforms, going viral. The headline, "Billionaire bought a school over a sweater," became a meme symbolizing the fight against elitism. Damien, for the first time in his life, became a public figure. For Mr. Harris, the story ended in complete ruin. The termination, the public exposure of his financial troubles, and his reputation as a snob destroyed his academic career. He lost his prestigious home and was left unemployed. However, Damien, demonstrating his commitment to principle over vengeance, made an unexpected move. He did not want to merely destroy the man. He wanted to teach him a lesson. I want him never to forget this lesson, Damien told Sarah. But I also want his name to forever remain a symbol of what changed here. Damien fully financed the construction of the new, modern building for the economics and finance faculty, the very building project that had nearly bankrupted the academy. And he named it the Harris Center for Ethics and Financial Accessibility. It was a dual irony. The center bore the name of the man whose greed and arrogance had nearly ruined the school. But it also served as a constant, public reminder that judging by appearances was the most expensive lesson the academy had ever purchased. At the dedication ceremony, Damien stood before the building and said, "This center is named after the teacher who taught me the most important lesson. He showed that wealth without ethics is just a suit that will eventually wear out. And now, his name will serve the good of students who may come here in old sweaters, but with brilliant ideas." The Stone Academy flourished, becoming a flagship institution where talent was valued over money. A new rule appeared at the entrance gates: dress code, respect and diligence. Damien often visited the academy, always in his jeans and sweater. But now, no one laughed, and no one judged. Because everyone knew that this man had not only saved their school but had taught the most valuable lesson about human dignity. In this story, the victor was not the billionaire, but the man who refused to let his past or his appearance define his worth. His story became a legend that lived within the academy's walls, reminding every student that the most valuable lessons do not fit a strict dress code.